Hi everyone, welcome to Agricultural Development's Crew with me, Vincent Samuel. Nigeria's population is on the rise, and by 2050, the population is expected to hit 400 million people. The country presently is grappling with the challenge of food security as a result of failed government policies and clashes between crop and livestock farmers. If this development leaves one to wonder, how will this projected 400 million people be fed by 2050, particularly animal protein? Earlier on, I spoke with Professor Ari Maikano Mohammed. Professor Ari is a seasoned animal nutritionist and the current Dean of School of Postgraduate Studies at the Nasarawa State University. And here is what he has to say concerning the recurrent failed government policies and the hope for the World Bank Livestock Productivity Resilience Support Project, LPRES. Take a listen.
Let me appreciate the fact that your status of the Nigerian food security system is up. Like Ms. rightly said, our population projection by 2050 will be in the region of 400 million. And it is also correct that a number of initiatives have been put on the table for us to be able to work as a country to be food secured. Food and nutrition security is key to the development of any country. I like to assure you that a number of activities have happened in the past and are continuously happening. But some of the key underlying issues have always been that we have been very consistent in the follow-through to making sure that every actor in the chain is taken into consideration, is made to be part of the implementation process. Where we are having the largest challenge today, like you have rightly said, is in the animal sector. And it goes beyond just the food and nutrition security. It has snowballed into human security factor too. And the reason is simple. There were laws, there were activities that were not followed through. And today we're paying the price. First, not because we had plans for it. We never envisaged that there would be an outburst of population, but we'll only be lying to ourselves. We will live in the street life. Let me be truthful. All of us know that there will be expansion of population. All of us know that climate change is real. All of us know that we simply cannot continue with the kind of farming system that we're having. But we have never been able to put our foot on the ground, our government systems to look proactively and reactive to these things that are likely and most definite that they must come. When we did, for example, the livestock plan in 2015 for the FAO, the Nigerian scenario was well created. We saw possibilities where actors and policies must come into interplay. And the narrative has been that depending on what structure of governance we have on the social system, the outcome would be different. For instance, if we have a corrupt system, a system that is devoid of leadership, of participation, the economy that is not flourishing, the outcome will be different. For instance, if we have a government system that is working, a policy that is effective, that carries everybody along, the infrastructure that are available, it will not only mean that we are going to meet our food and nutrition security, but we're also going to look at it as a giant revenue enemy. The potentials for the livestock industry is beyond the imagination of every Nigerian. Each value chain that you pick and you try to invest in it or create business opportunities around it, it is enough to at least serve as more than the capacity is serving in terms of our GDP contribution. Now, since we've not been able to do the needful, we saw ourselves at a crisis point. Environmental factors came in. Climate change became such a dangerous weapon against us, and we saw ourselves involved in many communal clash. What we used to know as the Sahel Savannah, the Guinea Savannah, the belts have melted away. What we are left with is the arid zone, the semi-arid zone, and the savanna areas. They're mostly the derived savannas from the former vegetative belt. So what it means is that largely, especially livestock animals, depend mostly on pasture and grasses and home. They were naturally available. But with population growth, with issues of climate change, this became so depleted, they were not an endless resource anymore. So competition for it turned out to be an issue for our national security. So I'm happy that you mentioned a project like the L-Press. L-Press is coming at a time that first at the point where all of us have come to the realization that we must all put our hands on deck. All what I would say societies, groups, value chain actors that are involved in the livestock sector have seen the need now that we must put all our hands on the table to look at it as one item, one single item agenda. The industry must work, and it must work for everybody, not a segmented approach that we used to have before. Now, the L-Press, like you have mentioned, has just been launched and has officially commenced. It's all encompassing. It has 4 strategic components. One, it is looking at institutional support. In the past, we are looking at interventions from system point of view. Now it is collective. What are we talking about? Institutions. The livestock system has the weakest institution in the whole of the Nigerian agricultural sector. I'll give you an example. Every crop in Nigeria has a mandate research institution. But for the livestock sector, we have only 2. The one in Vom, largely to do with the health, and the one in Zaria that has all the types of livestock and all the feeding opportunities that they have, all the breeding systems, all in one roof. That cannot work for a country that is as large as Nigeria, that has large animal holding, all ramifications. It cannot work. So this system support component of it is looking at making those systems work better. It's looking at stepping down those activities of the system down to the level of the farmer in their clusters and in their groups. That is one opportunity. Now, the other component of it is looking at the resilience of the Nigerian farmer. How can you be able to increase his productivity? How can you teach him best practices? How can you allow for what I would call innovation platforms, where the scientists, the researchers could come with those ideas that are key, that are within the reach of the farmer, that can be translated into a meaningful result. For instance, there are a lot of wastages of materials out there that can be converted into feed resource. Rather than, for instance, there are business opportunities in perhaps harvesting the grass in the southwest and serving the cattle in the north and north central. These are all opportunities that ordinarily were not taken into account before. So this project addresses those areas. We Now, the other component of the project that is very key is the monitoring and evaluation component. You rightly said we can't talk because we don't have the right numbers. Till date, we are making emphasis, we are making references to FAO statistics or to RIMS 1991 and the rest of them, and does not give for us to be able to track our progression. And so it will be emotional to say that we are doing well. Also counterproductive to say that we're not doing well. The fact still remains that we cannot speak to facts. So MIE will allow us to understand the weaknesses in our chain for improvement, and also take advantage of those for investment. And most importantly too, is the market potential that the system is bringing. So I think there's a future for the livestock industry. There's a future beyond the food and nutrition security. There's also a future for a peaceful Nigeria. Because what we are fighting for is a common resource. And whether we like it or not, this country has grown. Whether we like it or not, we cannot go with the same old systems that we're used to. So this is the platform for us to change. We can reduce the migration of migration and proliferation of small arms by investing in these processes that will allow for the growth of pasture, the growth of sanitarized animals, for the growth of a more efficient production system, and for the production for participation of farmers beyond the traditional system, whether they look at it to the level of as a commercial venture, it's an entrepreneurial activity, not just an inheritance or whatever. So I think we have hope. By and large, we need to see how we can also work with systems, step down information that are loaded. We have so much of indigenous knowledge that has helped escalate other systems, but yet we do not do anything about improving them. So I think we're on course. The health system is a very wonderful one. It's one of the largest investments in the sector. And I think that it is well targeted and is well organized and well structured. I only hope that other states, after the pilot state, will also take it. It will stimulate the sector in such a way that looking at the bigger picture, after health there's the economic component of it that can be linked to the export processing zones. We can see specialization coming across the zones. We can see integration of farming and pastoral areas, and then all of it, all in one basket.
Indeed, there's hope for the livestock industry in Nigeria, just like Professor Ari Maikano has said. But of course, there's need for commitment, and I hope that all stakeholders on board will do their best to see that the Air project succeeds.